Hello, everyone. I'm Mikey Stiller, and I'm joined with Arash. We are so excited to be here with you today. I am just making sure that we're actually live because it's not giving me a preview on this side. And it says we're live. So if you're seeing this, go ahead and just give us a comment. Let us know that you've joined us. We wanted to hop on because we're a little bit over halfway through the year. It's July 7th, and this is the halfway point. We're halfway through the year, and you can look back at your results and see where you've been the first half of the year. And you're in one of two camps. Either things are going great and you want to keep them going great, or maybe you didn't do as well as you thought you could, or you hoped you would in the first half of the year. And that's an okay place to be too, as long as you make some different decisions moving forward. So that's what we're going to hop into today. I'm really excited to be here with you. I know Arash is too. And Arash, why don't we just start there? What are your initial thoughts?
The 6-month mark is, for me, an exciting mark. It's like you're starting over for the year, just like right after the beginning of January. And, if you haven't created the results, you can still make this year the best year of your life, these next 6 months. I always tell the clients we work in our elite coaching programs, Mikey, I always tell them, when we're at the 6-month mark, I say, what are the 3 to 4 things to make the next 6 months the best 6 months of your life? What would those be? And I get them to really focus in and hone in on that. And now we're focused on what is. See, our year so far is a reflection of what we've been practicing, where our disciplines have been, where our standards are. Have we been emotionally involved in our goals? What type of action steps have we been taking? Are we significantly stretching ourselves? Are we being comfortable? Are we letting the outside control us? So these next 6 months are crucial, because not just how we end the year, but how we're going to start the next year. Everything works together. And so right now we want to put our foot on the gas. We don't want to coast. We want to put the foot on the gas and really redesign the rest of the year of our life, or not our life, of the year that is going to contribute to how we're going to live in our life.
Yeah. And Raj, we had a really good conversation about this on our podcast this week, but I want to jump into, when you're looking at the first 6 months and the next 6 months, you start by looking at the results, and then you can say, okay, what behaviors led to these results? Everyone starts a new year with all these big hopes, these big dreams, maybe a New Year's resolution. And then 30 days goes by, 60 days goes by, and those old behaviors take back over a lot of times. So how can you now at the halfway point, look back, not in a way to put yourself down, but look back productively, and then look forward and stick to new behaviors to get different action and to get different results?
Well, the one thing that I always focus on is who I'm becoming is more important than who I've been. Like, what I do going forward is much more important than what I've done, even if I've created the most amazing results. And I will look at it, that, in my opinion, because I'm so dedicated to constantly stretching myself and working on myself, that's going to be the worst that I'm ever going to do. That's my intent. And so I always love looking at the results, because they tell me a big story over a 6-month period. That's a long enough time to really tell yourself a story. And I'll look at them and I'll say, okay, this is really showing me where my self-image is, where it's been, and what I've been practicing. And this is where decision-making is so important for the next 6 months. You have to make a decision, and you've got to give yourself a definite directive and command that this is what I'm doing no matter what. I watch too many people let the outside control them, and it causes them to shrink. It causes them to say, oh, this doesn't work. Like, I always love talking to clients who are stuck, because I know you have to be stuck until you're going to get really dissatisfied enough to really make the right changes. I work with people who say to me, why do you think it hasn't worked for me? And I want everyone to sit down and think about this. If you're not where you want to be, why are you not where you want to be? It's a great question. See, the number one thing that happens is most people are sending themselves a double binding message. This work works for every single person who implements it. But where the implementation falls is they get intellectually involved with an idea and it stops. They don't do the next two parts where they have to get emotionally involved with the idea, where they transfer it from their conscious mind to their subconscious mind. And then they step out and act. Without the action, it's impossible for the result to change. And they say it doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't work. It's, are you working it properly? I know for years, for 3 years, when I started this information, I did not work it properly. I just kept gathering more and more information, reading more and more books. And then when I got really the right direction, that's what mentorship is. It's teaching you not what to think, but it's teaching you how to think and what to do. When you get that right direction, you want to get emotionally involved in it and really step out and act. See, the capacity to achieve your goals and live the way you want to live, it's going to be your ability to control your subconscious mind with not letting the outside control you. See, when we're letting the outside control us, what happens is if we're not thinking, then the outside is thinking for us and it dumps right into our subjective mind. And our subjective mind is programmed, that's how it works, to express whatever we dump in it.
Yep. Raj, let's use your story as an example. And you just touched on your story a little bit there, but it's such an inspiration because you're very open and transparent about the fact that you had horrible discipline 18 years ago, 15 years ago. And so you thought, how am I ever going to make this work? I'm great at starting things, but I'm horrible at finishing them. And now today, you're one of the most disciplined people I know. I feel like you're so disciplined, it's almost automatic, right? It would be hard for you to be undisciplined. How did you get there? Was it through understanding the right ideas and the right way to think, or was it through building your want bigger? Like, what really turned things around for you so that you could make that change?
Well, the truth of it is, and I've been very transparent about this, when I was first getting mentored, I didn't think it was going to work because I had tried for 3 years and it hadn't worked. But I knew my way wasn't working. I mean, the results told me it. I was overweight. I was in a ton of debt. The only thing I had going for me at the time was my relationship with my wife. She wasn't my wife yet, but she was my fiance at that time. And I had some level of belief that I could do better. I was never the person who didn't believe it. Like I remember, my mentor, Bob Proctor, who's so dear to me, a few years ago, we were talking, he said, when you came to me, you had some level of belief. He said, I had none. See, it doesn't matter if you have a little bit or none, this will work if you get emotionally involved in an idea. I got emotionally involved with the idea that for the first time in my life, I'm going to follow the direction of somebody who's already been there. And to this day, I don't know why I did it. I think I got to a point that I was so dissatisfied with what I was doing. And I realized I didn't want to live my life in the corporate world, going from one job to the next. So I said to myself, I'm going to do exactly what this person is telling me to do. And I literally did exactly to the letter. And what happens is results happen quickly. Think about somebody who is wanting to release weight. They'll follow a fitness program, they'll walk, they'll do exercising, they'll follow a different diet than what they were doing. And they'll see the weight just drop off. Well, it's the same thing if we're talking about income, if we're talking about being better in your profession at what you're doing. When you put energy on something, it grows. See, what I did is I changed my thinking pattern. And I started disciplining myself through only accepting ideas that I wanted. Anything that I didn't want, I said no. But I surrounded myself with top performers. Like I studied them so closely. Even people I had never met, I studied closely. I would watch how people who were successful would talk. I would watch their presence. And I gradually became them because I started mimicking the behaviors. And I've always come from the belief if one person can do it, anybody can do it.
Mhm.
See, I know without a shadow of a doubt, if anyone takes this seriously and goes and digs in and creates a mindset greater than the outside and disciplines themselves, everything will change.
Yep. We always talk about how you don't need a new year to start to pursue a new goal. You don't need a Monday or the start of a month. Oftentimes we trick ourselves into thinking that we need those things to put off our goals, right? We'll say, oh gosh, like it's already November. I'm just going to wait until January 1st and then I'll start on all these things that I really want. Or it's Friday. I'm just going to have fun this weekend and then I'll start on Monday and hit it hard. And then that just domino effects into week after week, month after month, year after year. But I also believe that you can use pretty much anything you can reposition to give yourself an edge. Why not? And so if you can get excited about a new year, if you can get excited about the halfway point in the year, which I'm excited about, I know you're excited about, why not use that to your benefit? Will you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, it comes to mind when you're talking about this. It's so important to be inspired by your future. Most people are afraid of the future. And most people are going through life looking at the first 6 months, if they look at it, and they say, oh, this didn't work. It's not going to change. And you want to really create a vision that you're convicted to. Everything you and I do is based on the vision. It's not based on the outside. And it's very different than how I used to live. How I used to live was everything was based on the outside. But the outside, when you're letting it control you, it takes you over. And most people don't realize it until it's too late. And it takes a lot more effort to change their attitude towards coming over the other side where freedom is. I always say freedom is something that everyone has access to, but you have to pay the price. And that price is whatever it demands. That price is getting out of your comfort zone. That price is surrounding yourself with the right environment. That price is discipline. That price is attitude. But let's look at our goals. Every one of our goals demands us to develop ourselves and change our perception of ourselves. It demands us to make an extraordinary stretch on a daily basis. It demands us to be disciplined. It demands us to build a higher standard. It demands us to do things we're not accustomed to doing, and it demands consistency. That's what our goals demand. See, if anybody sits there right now, I will give you 4 steps that will get you anything you want if you really master them. Number 1, you have to know exactly what you want more than anything else. That's where people miss the boat. Then you build your identity-based behaviors around what you want. Who does that person need to become? And then you build an idea of something you want to do. You see yourself doing it at an elite level. You see yourself as a star. And then you plant that idea through repetition into your subconscious mind. And then you make certain you step out and act. Like those steps will get you there. But the biggest problem that people have is repetition. Most people are programmed not to consciously repeat something over and over again. Even though they're unconsciously repeating it, they're not consciously doing it. And we cannot change our image without altering our paradigm. That's why our image is actually the foundation of what a paradigm is. So once we do it, we open up to a whole new world.
Arash, I love that. And Arash just gave you 4 amazing steps, action steps. We're going to leave the replay up in this group. So if you missed them, didn't get a chance to write them down, you can go back and rewatch it on the replay. We're about 13 minutes in. I have a question here in the chat. The question is it possible to manifest a desire very quickly? For instance, money? Yes,
it's very possible. What you have to do is you've got to eliminate lack and limitation from your life. That's the key. Money's an idea. It's no different than any other idea. Think about something that comes to you very quickly once you let it go. See, when people are working on money, they're working on it, most people are being separate from it. They don't have it. So they're sending themselves a double binding message where they say, I want more money, I want to increase my income, or I want to create more wealth in my life. Yet the whole day long, all day long, they're feeling lack and limitation. It's not going to work. Your subjective mind always expresses your dominating thinking. So what you want to do is you want to use your higher faculty, your will, and you only hold the idea, see yourself with money. Write down every day, write down 5 ideas. How can I earn more money? Well, while you're doing that, you're creating a prosperity consciousness. Pick up a goal card and write down your goal and have a monetary figure on it and read it as often as you can. And only think from the goal. That's another key part. Most people are thinking to the goal. When I do this, then this will happen, then this. No, you think from the goal and you say to yourself, what decisions would I make if I had already achieved that goal? And you make decisions from that goal. What disciplines would I have if I achieved that money goal? And you discipline yourself there. The ability to focus only on what you want is going to expedite and manifest, in the terms of the question, what you want at a warp speed. But you spend all your energy focusing on what you want. You know, I remember W. Clement Stone. Like, I love W. Clement Stone. And I was reading his book years ago, and he said, I can guarantee you one thing. I can guarantee you, if you focus on what you want all day long, it is impossible for you not to get it. And he says, prove me wrong. And, you know, Bob used to tell me that W. Clement Stone had the best attitude of anybody that he ever heard of, you know. But it's true. That's what Earl Nightingale talked about. You become what you think about all day long. But what we have to do, and this is what I did. You asked me a question earlier, how did I change my results and my discipline? Well, what I stopped doing was focusing on lack. Even though there was so much lack in my life, I put all my energy on what I wanted. And then gradually it changed, and then it changed dramatically.
Raj, I love this next question because I do think it's something that a lot of people struggle with. And that is, where'd it go? How do we let go if we're meant to be thinking of our desire all the time?
You let go because you get in the spirit of what can I do? Now you're not thinking, oh, I wonder if it's going to happen. You're not digging the seed. Like, I'm never thinking, like, I do my morning rituals. I do every 3 hours of repeating my goals, seeing myself all day long with a goal. But then I'm focusing, how can I serve? See, most people are focused on how can I get? You want to focus on how you can serve. When you are focused on helping others, then you're not looking at being attached. You're focused now on getting action and getting emotionally involved. Serving is something people have to learn. Like, I learned how to serve because I had a model. That's why I'm so adamant that you've got to surround yourself with the right mentors and do exactly what they tell you to do. And if you have a great mentor, they're giving you direction, not just philosophy. And I know that's something we pride ourselves on, and giving people exactly what to do, not just the philosophy. And I can tell you, the biggest thing keeping people back, they haven't changed their programming yet. So if you're not at the results you want, just ask yourself this: am I programmed to achieve what I want? You know, Napoleon Hill has a great quote, and I talk to clients about this all the time. He says, there's a difference between wishing for a thing, wishing and hoping for a thing, and demanding it. And you have to be ready to receive it. And I'll ask clients, I'll say, do you think you're ready to receive it? They'll say, yes, I'm absolutely ready to receive it. Then I say, okay, then how come for the last 10 minutes you've been telling me about what you don't want? You've been separate from your goal. You're telling me you have insecurities. You're lacking confidence. You're not ready to receive it yet. See, we can't receive something until we subconsciously feel worthy of it. So we want to practice the disciplines. You're going to spend the time anyway. You might as well be great. Do the disciplines. It's a few disciplines every day, compounded over 90 days, 6 months, will create a massive jump in your life. I think you muted yourself.
I did. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
You led into exactly where I wanted to go next perfectly, because we are so passionate about pairing all of our philosophy and all of our mindset with action and strategies. And you talk a lot about focusing on getting 1% better every day and focusing on each decision. And it's either taking you closer to your goal or taking you further away from your goal. And these are all tactics that you can use to get closer to your goal. Now, at the beginning of the call today, I said you're in one of two camps. You're either doing great and you want to continue to do better, or you're off track and you want to turn things around. Now, whichever camp everybody listening to this is in, what can they do to make sure that they have the best 6 months of their life? What are just a few things they can focus on?
Well, number one, you've got to ask yourself, do I have a goal? I want you to think about what you want more than anything else. Like, I was talking to a client last week and I said, well, what is it that you want? And he said, well, I want to either triple or quadruple my results. I said, which is it? That's a vague request. You've got to get specific. And then you've got to ask yourself the next question is, who do I need to become? What are the qualities of the person I need to become? More consistent, more disciplined, surround myself so I'm not the smartest person in the room. So I have people around me that are stretching me that I can learn from. What type of actions are you taking? Are you taking actions in your comfort zone, or are you really stretching? You want to get in the habit of doing one thing every day out of your comfort zone. Make a call. Practice your presentations if you're a sales professional. Work on that business idea and implant it in your mind. You want to start doing things that'll get you there. Well, now you're using momentum. Now, once you do it for a day, then you do it again. Every day is day one. Every single day is day one. And when you make every day day one, you're going to be hungry. You have to be hungry. You have to really want it. You can't go and achieve great things if you don't want something badly enough. You want to be so hungry. That's how you don't let the outside control you, where you're so hungry for a better life, a better image, a better result, where no matter what's happening on the outside, you're saying, no, I'm going to course correct. And when you do that, you're going to expand yourself.
All right, Arash, I see a couple more questions in the chat here that I'm going to get through. The first one is there a tactic for eliminating old distractions and behaviors?
Well, you got to develop focus. See, distractions are only distractions because you're not rejecting the idea. So you have to get really good. You've got to get so monomaniacally focused on accepting and rejecting ideas. You only accept what you want, and you say no to everything that is not what you want. There's a tactic that I do in everything I do. Is this going to expand me or contract me? If it contracts me, I say no to, no matter what. If it expands me, I say yes, even if I don't know how to do it. So to eliminate distractions, write out every night before you go to sleep, write out your top 3 non-negotiables that you're going to do, and do the hardest thing first. When you do the hardest thing first, you're building self-esteem. And then the next 2 are going to be easy. Make sure you at least have those top 3 knocked down every day.
Mm-hmm. All right, this next question. I don't know what I want to do with my life. How do I know what I want? I'm in a relationship with my girlfriend, but I don't know if I want to be here, or I don't know if I want to be with her. How do I know that? I've tried my whole life figuring out what I want, but I haven't succeeded.
Well, get out a piece of paper and write out exactly how you want to live. Imagine it was impossible to fail. Write out an awesome vision, and a vision that's worthy of you. See, if you're asking that question of your girlfriend, you probably already know the answer. But you might be afraid to be alone. So you got to go into your insecurities and feel them. Insecurities are not a bad thing. Insecurities are only bad things if we don't deal with them. Once we deal with them, they become gifts. But write it out every day for the next 7 days. Take the time. And here's the deal. If you're not taking the time, then you don't want it bad enough. And I said you've got to be willing to pay the price. You're spending the time anyway. Create an extraordinary life. Write it out exactly how you want it to be, and then you start rewiring it. Record it and listen to it every day for 10 minutes, just on repeat, over and over again. In 30 days of doing that, you're going to start believing in it. My guess is that you've never found out what you really want because you've never done the interior work deeply enough. We've got to go and remove scarcity. Most people are making decisions based on what they know. They're not basing it on how they want to live. And you want to let your desires, you make your decisions from your desires, not from your old conditioning. The old conditioning is outdated. When you have doubts, remember those doubts come from old conditioning. Ask yourself, is it real? Or is this just automatic thinking patterns? And that's what I would recommend.
I love that. Okay, this next question, should the auto suggestion statement include the monetary amount I desire, or should it just be a general statement?
No, very specific. The exact amount you desire or more. Whenever I have a monetary statement, I say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning whatever the number is or more. So I'm telling the universe that I want this or more. I'm putting in my subjective mind, I want this or more. Here's the beautiful part. I've never been exactly on exact dot of what my goal card says, of what I'm putting in. It's always been greater as I do the rewiring. See, the biggest thing we have to do, and I said this earlier, but it's so important that I'm going to repeat it. Am I programmed for what I want? That is such an important question. You can't lie to yourself. You can hide from it, but you can't lie. You'll know if you're programmed. And how you know if you're programmed, the results tell you. The result will always tell you.
Arash, how important do you think it is evaluating your results regularly?
I think it's very important. Like, I'm constantly evaluating my results. I'm evaluating our company's results all the time. But I'm not attached to it. I'm not like, oh God, these results. I look at it just to be aware of where we're at so I can change the plan. Or if I'm happy with it, I say, oh, I was thinking too small. Let's stretch it.
Mhm.
So you want to look at it, but don't be attached to it. When you're looking at your results, observe it. Those results have not been created by who you're going to be. They're created by the disciplines, your mindset, your rewiring, your programming, and your paradigm in general. That's where the results were created. So you can always change them.
And what are you've mentioned several disciplines that people can do. What would you say are the non-negotiable disciplines that everyone should be doing?
Number one, nothing moves until you make a decision and commit to what you want. So you have to know what you want, but you have to make a decision. You have to say, this is where I'm going no matter what. And when you come with that firm of a decision, a number of things happen. Number one, you're in the spirit of what you want now. And number two, you're giving directive to your mind to go show you how to get there. Any emotion that you attach to what you want, what happens is you dump it in your imagination that dumps right in your subconscious mind, which expresses it. So the stronger the emotion, the stronger the connection, the quicker you're going to see movement. So I'm going to tell you that, number one.
Yeah, and we just go a little bit deeper on decision, because a lot of times people trick themselves into thinking they've made a decision. How do you know if you've made a decision?
By your action, by your belief. You know, decision comes with faith and belief together. Well, when you mix decision with discipline and attitude, like, this is where I'm going, and even when you have an adversity, you still are going there. You say, nope, this is going to pass. That's why I say you have to really give yourself a directive. This is where I'm going no matter what. I watch too many people say, this is where I'm going, and then they change courses right away, or they reject that idea right away. No, I can't do that. And they can do it. They have to accept the idea and only live from that idea, from that point forward. And that's how things are going to start really showing up. And your subconscious mind is going to start giving you signs. The universe will give you signs. It'll say you're going in the right direction.
Okay, so non-negotiable disciplines include knowing what you want and making a committed decision that you're going to get there. And then what else?
Mix it with discipline and attitude.
Okay.
You have to have, without discipline is the prequel to amazing results. Discipline is the prequel to freedom. And that's what we want to lock into. We've got to get the right disciplines, and we mix it with a positive mental attitude. That's how you mix it with that, is you don't accept anything that's not what you want. Even if it seems crazy, just keep doing it. I promise you, in 30 days, it won't be that crazy.
I love that. All right, Arash, I hope that everybody, oh wait, here's one more question for you. Oh, a couple
Real quick,
more.
before I answer this question, I'm going to tell you one other thing. If you're living through your senses, it's impossible to create a quantum leap. You've got to tap into your higher faculties. You want to get in the spirit. You want to build your imagination. You want to really develop your will, only accepting and rejecting ideas. And you want to think how you want to think from the goal. When you're operating from your senses, that's when the paradigm is coming in and working through the senses, because the senses are so sensitive, and it's going to get you to get emotionally involved in the outside.
Good point. This next question, what do we do if we are surrounded by family members in the household who are constantly negative?
Well, the thing about it is, are you negative? And that's a good question. A lot of people are spending time focusing on other people who are negative. So I would ask you, from a neutral place, do you consider yourself the most positive person you know? I want you to build that image. See yourself and stop worrying about them. Focus on seeing yourself. And I want you to deliberately see yourself and practice seeing yourself exactly how you want to live. And then constantly re-examine that picture to make it more detailed. And then put your energy on what you want, not on them.
All right. And this next question, when I became aware of this teaching, sorry, I jumped ahead. The next question is, do I have to write a physical goal card, and can I have it on my phone?
Well, you can. There's a lot more advantages to have a physical goal card, because when you have it in your pocket, you touch it, you automatically sends a signal to your mind and to your brain of your goal. So I highly recommend having a physical. If you have it on your phone, are you paying as much attention to it? Ask yourself that. I think you've got to try things that's going to work for you. For me, absolutely physical. Now, I will tell you, I have both. I have an alarm that goes off in my phone, and I teach all our elite clients this every 3 hours. And for 2 minutes, when the alarm goes off, reaffirm your goal. The repetition of doing that is going to rewire you. Let's say you're in a meeting and the alarm goes off. Guess what? You're still signaling to your mind what your goal is. So it's still doing it, even if you're not repeating it.
Yep. Such good advice. All right. I hope that everyone can take today's call and jump right into action. Feel like you got a little bit of a mindset adjustment, but also a lot of strategy to make the last 6 months the best 6 months of your year, so that you can still make 2023 the best year you've ever had. And Arash, I'm going to let you close us out with any last comments.
I'll give you an exercise to do that I gave my team to do. And it's something that I do regularly. And I was working with a client yesterday, and he triggered me, and he goes, you remember, this is what I'm doing. And I want you to write a letter to yourself, date it December 31st, 2023, and write out all the things you accomplished over these next 6 months in the present tense. Like, write them out and put it away. When you do it, it's very creative. But listen, it's going to be easy to do. This isn't a 4-sentence letter. I mean, this is something that I want you to spend a time and write a letter of what you've accomplished. And every month for the next 6 months, pick one behavior that you're going to make part of your identity. If you're getting distracted, focus would be a great behavior. Or if you're letting the outside control you, build the behavior, put all your attention on your attitude. And so that's what I would recommend for the next 6 months. Perfect.
Thank you, Arash, and thank you all for joining us for this special pop-up call. We're going to be doing these regularly. We also have a special announcement coming for you in the group in the next 24 hours. So keep your eyes on this group, and we will see you all very soon. Wishing you the best 6 months coming up. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Arash.
Take care.